Hello everyone, this is Miss Stevens, your high school librarian, and today we're going to discuss the information that I have collected for you on this Padlet. The topic of this lesson is Assessing Online Sources Using Critical Media Literacy. Your English teacher has specified that she wants you to use information from at least 5 reputable sources for this research project. So, the objective of the lesson is given resources about assessing online sources, 9th through 12th grade students will use a checklist to appropriately evaluate the validity and accuracy of at least 5 sources found online. So, this means that you will use some of the resources that are linked on this Padlet to help you learn what does and what does not make something a reputable source. Then you will use the remaining links on this Padlet to help practice this skill. In the end, you should be able to determine at least 5 online sources that are credible due to their high validity and accuracy. This will help ensure that you can find 5 reputable sources for your research project. The discussion question for this lesson is, how can I critically assess the information that I find online, and why is this important? Let's talk about the importance of this topic and the objective of this lesson. First, this is a skill that you will be asked to use in college. Your college professors will expect you to be able to find accurate information for your research for an assignment. If you already have this skill when you walk into your college classes, it is one less thing that you have to worry about. Also, being able to critically assess the information that you find automatically gives you credibility as an author, writer, or creator. You can prove that you found the most accurate and valid sources out there, which means that you know what you're talking about. Beyond your high school and college classes, establishing your credibility is an important skill that you will need for real life. No one is going to trust someone who they know is not credible or does not find their information from reputable sources. Being able to easily assess online information in order to use it as a skill is a skill that any employer would love to see in an employee, because your high credibility will always reflect well on them. The alternate case is true as well. No one wants to hire someone who they know cannot be trusted or who does not check information before sharing it with others. Finally, and arguably the most important of all, the ability to critically assess the information that you find online is something that you will need every single day of your life, including right at this very moment. Yes, you need this skill for your education and for your future employment, but what's more is that you need this skill to help you become a competent global citizen. You already know that you're constantly bombarded with information every day, and you need to know how to assess that information so you do not accidentally share incorrect sources with others, and you can think for yourself when it comes to the information that you read and hear online. We no longer live in an age where you can blindly trust the information from a news source. It is no longer smart or safe. By learning how to critically assess online sources, by systematically questioning and assessing the validity and accuracy of information, as stated in the AASL standard for this lesson, you're learning how to protect yourself and how to protect others from the very real threat of misinformation. Now, let's take a look at the links that are on this Padlet. Links 1 through 7 are to help you learn how to determine a source's credibility. Link 1 is a handout for the CRAP test, which is a method for assessing sources. C stands for currency, R stands for relevance, A, authority, the second A for accuracy, and then P for purpose. This is a great start for learning how to assess sources and can also serve as the checklist for completing your objective for today. Link 2 is a video from Crash Course Literature that discusses and explains how to determine what does and what does not make a digital source trustworthy. Link 3 is a great article that explains the different types of misleading news and has examples to help you better understand those different types of sources. This is to help you make sure that you don't use these types of sources, or that you can assess these sources and figure out their bias and their overall accuracy and validity. Link 4 is a great resource for research. It is a research guide from the University of Washington. So this was link 3 that helps you evaluate the different types of misleading news. And this is link 4, which features research guides, to help you evaluate news sources, web sources, social media sources, detecting bias, and determining fake news. All of this is great to help you with your research. Link 5 is another awesome checklist to help you with assessing the sources that you find and determining the accuracy of online content. Number 6 in this list, verify a story by finding a reputable outlet reporting the same thing, is a great point, and it leads right into the next link, link 6, which is a resource on how to fact check. So this is link 6. So this link explains what is fact checking, what's the purpose, and how you can use some different sources some different websites and resources to help you fact check. A couple I want to point out are factcheck.org and snopes.com, which are some great sources, some bias-free sources that help you with fact checking. Link 7. It will take you to a in-depth course on news literacy. And this is the FAQs for lesson 6, which are great. This is the page that will pop up when you click on this link. And if you go down to lesson 6, it talks about how to evaluate sources, and again, those FAQs for lesson 6 go through some more information for evaluating sources as well. Link 8 is where the information for how to practice assessing sources starts. So link 8 is a link to how to spot fake news, and it also has some practice articles from this National Geographic Kids. You can click on this link right here, and then you can use the criteria from National Geographic to help you assess those links. Link 9 is the Newsfeed Defender game, which is an online game that simulates a social media site. And the purpose of this is to use your skills to maintain a highly credible site that only shares accurate and valid information. Then finally, link 10 is a link to Factitious, which is an online news game that allows you to assess sources. These are actual news sources out there on the internet. And just like it says here, you will be able to read through the information of the source, and you're going to swipe right if you think the article is real, and swipe left if you think the article is fake. So, and this actually gives you different sources every time, because I just tried it out a few minutes ago, and this was a different source than what I got a few minutes ago. So you can see the title of the source, you can see a little bit of the source itself, a little bit of the article, and then you can click on Show Source to see what the where that website, or the URL of the website, I should say. And using, like I said, using the checklist that we talked about earlier, our CROP checklist, you can determine whether or not these sources are real, whether or not the information from these sources are real, or if they are fake, if they are not reputable sources. So you can use these previous resources and the checklist to help you try to get at least 5 correct, so you can meet the objective of this lesson. Again, this is a lesson on assessing online sources using critical media literacy, and thank you so much for listening to the content, for listening about the content of this Padlet and this lesson. Thank you so much.